Throughout the history of gaming, Nintendo has done a fantastic job at bringing family-friendly games into the hearts and homes of children everywhere. Now, to me, the cutest of the bunch is without a doubt the Kirby franchise of games. Yet, it's been a while since I last played as everyone's favorite pink blob. So, when I first heard about the latest entry into the franchise, my inner child couldn't help but burst at the seams with excitement and eagerness. Yet, the question still remains, is it any good? Well, I'm That Bald Gamer, and this is my review of Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. Let's take a look. Kirby Star Allies tells you exactly what it's about right in the title. It features the usual stuff you'd expect from a Kirby game, such as obtaining powers by absorbing enemies, as well as that signature cuteness. However, this time, you can also convert those enemies into allies that can help you on your adventure. How do you do that? Well, by throwing hearts at them, of course. This is the primary mechanic of the game, since you must work together with different allies and abilities in order to solve various puzzles and progress. You can also combine abilities, and it's so much fun to experiment with all the different combinations throughout your journey. But the best part, and what I think makes this game so much fun, is each ally can be played by another player. Don't get me wrong though, because you can play the game entirely solo and still get a fantastic gaming experience. But, in my opinion, the fun factor really shines when you have 2 to 4 people all collaborating together to conquer your objectives. For the sake of this review, I managed to play through most of the game with my significant other, and it ended up being a really fun experience that we honestly don't encounter often with other co-op games. Yet despite all of the excitement you'll endure while playing, there are a few drawbacks that you may encounter. For starters, overall the game is really easy. Take a look at the top left corner of the screen here. From just one story playthrough, I accumulated 100 lives, and I only recall dying a handful of times, and those were mainly from clumsiness and not difficulty. On that note, usually in my reviews I single out the controls for a bit, but ironically, the lack of difficulty in the game may actually be a small side effect of just how fluid and spot on the controls are. So there's not much I can say in that regard, since after a brief period of trial and error, you'll have the controls figured out in no time. Granted, the game does have its fair share of challenges, and some of the puzzles, if you're playing with another player, can require a bit of thinking and teamwork to pull off. However, if you're an experienced gamer, you should find Star Allies to be a breeze. Which brings me to my next point, in that, like many Kirby games, the bulk of the content can be completed very quickly. To give you an estimate, I was able to complete the story mode, establish high scores on all the minigames, and try out some of the bonus game modes near the end in under 10 hours. Now, for some of you out there, this actually may be a bit of a plus, since not many people honestly have a lot of spare time to invest into a massive open world 100+ hour game. Yet, if you're under the impression that you're going to get a ton of content, or an overload of pink blobby goodness, you may find yourself to be a bit disappointed. Oh, and before I forget, there is no online co-op here, and while that is a bit of a bummer, for the way this game functions, it's more fun playing with friends in person anyway, so for me, it's not really a deal breaker. But don't worry, as there's still a fair amount of replayability to be had. For example, if you're a completionist, you can try your luck at collecting all of the puzzle pieces hidden throughout the game. These are used to piece together some wonderfully illustrated pictures from various artists in the art gallery. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, Star Allies does feature a few minigames that are fun and can be competitive when challenging other players. These quick distractions from the main story, in my opinion, make a solid addition to the game. In fact, my biggest complaint is that there aren't more of them. There is also some bonus game modes that appear once you complete the story. These include a mode that's similar in style to a boss rush called the Ultimate Choice, and my personal favorite, Guest Star Allies Go, which basically pits you into the story mode without Kirby and allows you to level up your team with various power-ups along the way. So, as you can see, the gameplay isn't perfect by any means and does suffer from a few hiccups. However, in the areas that it excels at, it goes above and beyond and truly is a lot of fun to pick up and play. which is why I give the gameplay a rating of 8 out of 10 stars. Visually, since the character animations and backgrounds are presented in a cartoonish nature, as you might expect, Star Allies is not going to push any hardware to the limits. Still, the graphics really stand out thanks to the vibrant colors that find themselves splashed upon the screen. I mean, seriously, everything just bursts with happiness and will almost certainly brighten your mood the moment you lay your eyes on the screen. In fact, the game is so colorful, they even added painting as an ability, and it's actually one of the stronger ones too. Speaking of which, you can tell the creative team behind the game had a lot of fun coming up with all of the different character designs and abilities, both old and new, since every moment in this game seems to explode with visual creativity. Yet while it may not be the most advanced in terms of pixels, or unique like Kirby's Epic Yarn, I personally find the graphics to be a refreshing tribute to old school Kirby games. There are even some moments where I couldn't help but feel visual references to other franchises. Take this stage select area for example. With all of its stars and just simply being in space, it gave me some serious Super Mario Galaxy vibes. All that being said, whether you're playing docked or in portability mode, Star Allies is bright, happy, and you'll likely struggle to frown when you witness the cuteness being acted out on your display. For all of these reasons, I give the graphics a rating of 8 out of 10 stars. Let's briefly talk about the audio, which, in my opinion, really complements the cuteness taking place on the screen. To be honest, I wasn't expecting much with the soundtrack going in, but to my surprise, Star Allies features some exceptionally well-written and catchy music. As you may expect from a game like this, there's a wide variety of peppy tunes to help put you in a good mood. However, a few caught me off guard that were really beautiful, like this for example. I could easily fall asleep to the peaceful sounds of this tune. It's just so relaxing. In regards to sound effects, all the noises featured in the game are spot on, and many are just as cute as the characters they accompany. For example, while it may be the tiniest detail to some, my personal favorite is the ploppy, pitter-pattering sound of footsteps as Kirby and his friends run along the screen. I mean, just listen to this, and tell me that's not adorable. Oh, and speaking of audio cuteness, my heart still feels all warm and fuzzy every time I hear Kirby say, "Hi!" I will mention though that parts of the game do feature text, and while I certainly don't mind reading, for such a short game, I don't see why they couldn't include some voices for these characters. Then again, perhaps it's a bit more fun in allowing your imagination to run wild with each character from time to time. Yet overall, honestly, I was really impressed with the audio for Star Allies, and it had me swaying back and forth and grinning ear to ear throughout my time playing as the Pink Ball of Mischief. It's so lighthearted and truly makes me feel like a kid again. So the audio earns my rating of 9 out of 10 stars. Kirby Star Allies, for me, was an instant buy, as I had not only been itching for a console game starring everyone's favorite pink blob of cuteness, but it also fulfilled my need for a fantastic co-op gaming experience. However, after playing through it and analyzing all of the aspects of the game itself, would I say that it's worth full price for you, the viewer? Well, yes and no. If you're a fan of Kirby but have no intention of playing this with anybody else, and strictly plan to play through the game solo, you may want to wait for a price drop, since you'll surely have a lot of fun, but you'll likely end up craving for more. However, if you intend to experience the wondrous adventure with a friend or loved ones, then I can say with full confidence that this game is totally worth it. You see, Nintendo has a track record for creating and supporting content that can help bring people from various backgrounds together by means of family-friendly games that are easy to pick up and play. This game is no exception to that, as it's sure to bring a smile on the faces of you and those around you who share in the memorable experiences the game has to offer. So taking everything I've said into account, Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch earns my final rating of a solid 8 out of 10 stars. As usual, these are just my opinions on the game, so please let me know down in the comments below what you think, and also feel free to share with me your experiences with Kirby in general. If you enjoyed this video though, leave a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell for more content like this in the future. Yet, that's all the time we have for this episode, so I'm That Bald Gamer, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.